Now that our lighting calculation has been completed again, we can start adding some more detail to our scene. Okay, so I'm going to jump back into Rhino, and I have a model of the Mies van der Rohe daybed built in here. So I'm going to turn on option 1. So I have the daybed, Barcelona daybed, and the Barcelona chairs. For now, I'm just going to bring in this daybed. I'm going to first ungroup it, and I'm going to select export. And I'm going to say Barcelona daybed 01.obj. I'm going to save this in my mesh folder. I'm going to export obj objects as obj objects, and I'm not going to export layer names. Okay, and I'm going to click do not export layer names. I'm going to hit enter, and I'm just going to leave this as the kind of default setting. So now let's go back into the project. Okay, and this is going to bring my mesh into the project. All right, and I'm going to have to scale this again to 0.3048 just to make sure I'm converting between feet and meters. Okay, and now I can drag this into my scene, and the daybed is now visible. I'm going to pull this out just a little bit like this. All right, and I have a bunch of different mesh parts here. Okay, so I'm going to select mesh part. Actually, I'm going to have to go back to Rhino. So I'm going to select the different faces of my cushion here, because these are all going to be the same material. I'm going to select the headrest. And I'm going to select the leather straps. Okay, and I'm going to group these together. So they're going to be all leather. And then I'm going to select the stainless steel frame and legs and group those together. So now that I have my different elements grouped together, I'm going to export them. I'm going to save this as Barcelona daybed 01, and I'm going to export groups as obj groups. Okay, I'm going to hit enter to export. I'm going to leave my default mesh settings active. All right, so now in Unity, it's going to import my mesh. All right, and I'm going to make sure I adjust the scale here from feet to meters, so 0.3048. I'm going to click apply. And now I'm going to drop that into my scene. So now I have the leather elements and the stainless steel elements separated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new material called leather. Okay, and I'm going to set the color to a kind of brown, like a rich brown, desaturated, like that. And I'm going to set a normal map to this leather normal that I brought in. Okay, so this texture is not marked as a normal map, so I'm going to fix that so then it will be marked as a normal map. And then I'm just going to apply it to this object. And we can see if we zoom in on this thing, there is some leather texturing here. It's pretty small, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and adjust the tiling for my texture here to be something like 0.25, 0.25. Okay, that might be a little big. What we're going to do is we're going to take the normal map down a little bit so that it looks a little more leathery. Okay. Then I'm going to take up the smoothness, so we start picking up some highlights on this leather material. We can kind of something like that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and create another material called stainless. All right, I'm going to leave the albedo channel as white. I'm going to bump up the metallic, and I'm going to bump up the smoothness, so it's going to have a chrome appearance to it. So I'm going to apply stainless to this group here. All right, and then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply my leather material to these straps. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at my stainless material again. Okay, and let's drop down the metallicness of this just a little bit so that it's a little lighter. Okay. All right. And then we can continue to tweak our materials so that we kind of get the realistic look that we're looking for. All right. So I'm going to go into my lighting tab. I'm going to bump up the intensity of my skybox. In fact, I'm just going to go back to my default skybox here. Okay, so we have something that's a little bit lighter. All right, and now if I play my scene, I should be able to get some really nice kind of specular highlights. And we can see there's still some work that needs to be done with my materials. And the camera's still a little bit high, but the flooring's starting to look pretty nice, and the wood material and some of the global illumination is looking pretty good.